To the marketplace. Coming up, provisional estimates from the Ghana Statistical Service show that the economy expanded by 2% in the third quarter of 2023.
Between the third quarter 2022 and the third quarter 2023, the economy grew by 2.0% year-on-year quarterly GDP, third quarter 2022 compared to third quarter 2023.
Also coming up, China seeks political approval of agreement on Ghana's bilateral debt at official Creditor Committee level. And it's 5 days to Christmas. Let the shopping begin.
So actually, I can't even tell really how much things are, but if I compare to what I've bought, it's okay.
The prices are a bit high. The prices are high, but that's why I'm saying that everybody is giving him or her own price. There's no fixed price.
My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for being with us. We have details shortly. Everyone, first up, Ghana's economy for the third quarter of 2023 grew at a slow rate of 2% compared to the same period in 2022 with a rate of 2.7%. The agri sector recorded the highest growth of 5.9%, followed by the services sector with a rate of 5.5%, whilst industry recorded a contraction of 4.3%. Addressing journalists, government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnenim attributed the expansion to the growth recorded in the crops and cocoa subsectors.
Third quarter 2022 and the third quarter 2023, the economy grew by 2.0% year-on-year quarterly GDP, third quarter 2022 compared to third quarter 2023. This growth rate of 2.0% signifies a 0.7 percentage point drop as the economy grew by 2.7% between the third quarter 2021 and the third quarter 2022. From a non-oil perspective, the economy grew by 2.1% in the third quarter 2023. This growth rate of 2.1% is a 1.2 percentage point drop compared to the growth rate of 3.3% between the third quarter of 2021 and the third quarter of 2023. From a sectoral point of view, we continue to see the dominance of the services sector. The services sector commanded 42.1% of the basic prices GDP oil perspective in the third quarter 2023. This was followed by the industry sector commanding 33.0% of the total oil GDP at basic prices, and agriculture 24.9% for the third quarter of 2023. From a sectoral point of view, we saw respective growth rates in the agricultural and services sector growing by 5.9 and 5.5% in the third quarter of 2023, and the industry sector contracting by 4.3% in the third quarter of 2023.
Now, China is moving fast to secure political approval of agreement reached at the official Creditor Committee level on restructuring of Ghana's debts. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons with knowledge of the workings of the committee. Here's George Jaffe with more.
Understand that the agreement that China has reached at the committee level can be described as preliminary when it comes to agreeing to the terms for restructuring Ghana's debts. However, the official representing China on the committee believes that the initial deal reached has to be taken back to China for the necessary approvals by its assembly. After this approval, China is expected to come back to the table and formally join other members to issue that memorandum of understanding from the official Creditor Committee with respect to its position on restructuring of Ghana's debts. Another development that has affected Ghana in terms of getting China to come on board quickly was due to the fact that there has been a new finance minister for that country, which we understand he needs more time to appraise himself on the current development when it comes to restructuring of Ghana's debts. However, some are worried that what if the Chinese Assembly rejects the proposal coming from the official Creditor Committee? What will be the fate of Ghana going forward? And even the January 11 date that has been proposed by the IMF to have its board meeting on Ghana. Will the fund go ahead and approve Ghana's program, or the board meeting be rescheduled again?
Now, it's exactly 5 days to Christmas, and what's in your shopping basket? Well, while many are grappling with how much to spend on which item on display, several others are actually undecided on what exactly to buy, particularly given the variety of items on display at the markets only for Christmas. So my colleague James Ishen went to Accra's biggest wholesale and retail shopping center to gauge the mood amongst both the traders and shoppers.
But you know what I was saying? I'm going to buy cow head to cook, because the cow head is big. If I buy it like 300 or 400, it's better than buying a chicken 150 cedis.
We are just somewhere around Rolling Circle in Makola, and it's a very busy day. Some may probably say this is squared what we used to see on a normal Saturday. This is probably due to the Christmas festivity. We are 9 days away. Now, looking behind me, on a normal day when we head into Christmas, what you mostly see is you see a lot of Christmas paraphernalia, but that seemed not to be the case today. We could probably see few just where I stand. Well, we've been trying to go around the market, and it's not what we expect considering what we've been seeing over the years. Let me try to engage some of the sellers and the buyers to also know what is happening this time.
Disco space.
Who buy them? You're sure Christmas is the why ready?
Am I ready? Me be buan kola mami. Omun siesie omun mano. No omun hunyefe.
Na the tongue causing.
Ekoni blah blah ba ye hwe. Se nyame bua Monday dia ye sure say beba no wawa.
Say enoma bua na e bit sen, obi a obetumi ne akoto.
E bit say 4 cedi 5 cedi. High pra na 10 cedi.
Compared to last year, and no matter how compared to last year, and everyone across Kakra na it's stable.
Sa pepe. Omontesu la until last year yamfa niam bebe kate this year omo betesu sa pepe. Ankosuru ambafom.
I came to buy some few food stuff and some sandals.
You're not getting anything for the Xmas?
Oh, I've already bought things already, so I'm good.
Now let's look at the prices of what you bought so far, especially going into the festive season. How is it like?
I can say relatively compared to last year, it's almost the same. Not much difference. Yeah. So it's okay. It's okay.
It's not really affecting your income.
No, I've not. Actually, I've shopped for. I bought some things last month, so to take me through. So I'm not. So actually, I can't even tell really how much things are. But if I compare to what I've bought, it's okay.
I am sure you are in the market to buy something this morning.
Yes.
You've been going around. How are the prices and all?
Anyway, some of the prices are good, some is not good, because I think everybody with his own price. We don't have any fixed price. If anyone told this a fixed price, they are lying. They are just, everybody is giving out his or her own price. That is what is going on now.
Compared to what we've been seeing in the past, are the prices high a bit now, or they are a bit stable?
The prices are a bit high. The prices are high, but that's why I'm saying that everybody is giving his or her own price. There's no fixed price. So the government have to give a fixed price. No, because if they tax now cost, so that's the excuses they have been giving. If you go and buy it at the retail price, it's low. Still they will still increase the price. It still affects because they are not reducing their price. No, none of them. They are not reducing their price because the foreign things are even cheaper than made in Ghana goods. Because the foreign, even though they are taxing them, still their prices are even better than our homemade.
So you stick to the fact that it's still expensive?
Everything is still expensive. For instance, as they are opening school now for the new JHS, the prices are bogus. Things are going higher and higher. So there's no fixed price.
So how are you going to celebrate this Christmas?
This Christmas, do you know what I was selling? I'm going to buy cow head to cook, because the cow head is big. If I buy it like 300 or 400, it's better than buying a chicken 150 cedis.
Are you buying anything for the kids?
I'll buy it for my grandchildren.
Oh, things are not really bad, but all the same, except maybe the inflation is blah, 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 but it's the same thing we are in. They have not even reduced anything, the same how it is. So we don't know what to do. We just manage it like that.
You didn't come to buy Xmas stuff, but looking at the prices compared to what you bought last year, comparatively, how is it like?
Oh, I think last year is good. It's better than this year. And more or less, this is Christmas. I don't think that students have to go to Christmas time, then SHS1 is being into school. I don't think so. Because look at things. You have to buy their Christmas things for them. Right now, we are using that money to buy their school things so that they can go back to school.
All right, so James is shared there, gauging the mood with just 5 days to Christmas. As you can see, there are some people who are doing early shopping. You're watching the marketplace. We are taking a short break. When we come back, we will be discussing the top tech stories of 2023. Do stay around. Welcome back from the break. The Institute of ICT Professionals has said that the issue of cybersecurity will be topical for businesses in 2024 due to the growth in information communication technology sector. This, the Institute says, should be a pertinent agenda on operations of Ghanaian businesses. Speaking at its annual general meeting, the Executive Director, David Kwawu, said the Institute will encourage investments in cyber protection as well as expansion of ICT infrastructure in 2024.
And we believe that the Institute is well positioned to do that. In 2024, we want to do a lot more. One of those areas we are focusing on is public awareness in the areas of cyber security, because cyber crime is a major issue. We are also focusing on a lot of activities to do with those in the deprived communities. We want to do a roadshow from Choko to Paga, where we expose a lot of young people to technology. And of course, we want to have a very big tech job fair because we want a lot of people to be employed. And we want this to be done through our annual tech job fair program, where we match job seekers with employers.
Well, this takes us to Let's Talk Tech. And joining me is Henry Kobler, who is lead for Eyes of Africa. And as the year draws to a close, Henry is going to share with us his top tech stories for 2023. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us, Henry. So you'd like to start, because I see on your list the first to do with the introduction of Threads, which was quite exciting at the beginning, but now disappointing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Daryl. So yes, Thread was exciting. I mean, generally not exciting to me, but to I think that to social media enthusiasts, because anytime that we're having social media coming up with new things, I think that people always get excited. I mean, the introduction of TikTok relatively took a lot of trails and trails around. It's really given a lot of people employment. It's introduced the social media influencers part. I mean, for it to actually be even given awards, that should tell you that it's sort of given a lot of impact into sales, marketing, and all of those things. And so I thought that Thread was going to just shake up the bottoms exceptionally, because we're looking at how it was going to come rival Twitter, which had actually been a bone of contention and had issues coming in. And so generally, I thought that it was going to blow up. They did well on the very first run, but I think that's sort of struggling. I see that the Meta is sort of doing a lot of integrations into its existing applications, which is good, but I think that it might not necessarily fly like the way I thought it would, unless of course you're bringing some level of unique features on the platform that is going to be exceptionally different from what Twitter is sort of doing. On the lookout, you're also looking at how Twitter is also gearing itself up to come up with quite a lot of things. I mean, the whole idea of the branding, which is actually taking place this year into X, that only gives you a sense of what exactly they're looking at. And so it starts with the name, it starts with the concept they want to throw out there. It starts with the founder trying to make some level of changes, which is very vigorous, but exceptionally also looking at how it's going to generate revenue from X comes in very hard. I mean, people thought that X relatively is going to go down if X Blue is sort of going to come in, but I think that it sort of gained some level of weight. I've seen a lot of subscriptions to the blue ticks, and I think that they're doing well with the concept of having an all-in-one platform, AI-oriented, cryptocurrency-oriented. payment digitalization also coming in forcefully. I think that 2024 looks exciting for X, for that matter, Twitter. And I think that it's sort of having to do a lot to connect or rival X in that matter.
All right, so let's move on and talk about X, or Twitter, as some would call it, because people are excited about Threads because of the frustrations with X or Twitter, because Elon Musk had taken over and there were so many changes. People just got frustrated with it. But hey, I mean, a few months along the way, people have no choice. They're still on X. Talk to us about, should I say, X's transformation over time since Elon Musk took over.
I think that, I mean, generally, Elon had actually looked at the platform as a very worthy platform. I mean, I can tell you the backstory of how he basically looked at how he wanted to pick up this company. It just started as a tweet where somebody says, can you just buy Twitter of the owners? And I mean, just him picking up that comes in handy. Now, him coming in, he basically had to shut down the African unit of Twitter, which became a big issue, and then had to let go of top management and top developers who were actually within the whole concept and heart of X, for that matter, Twitter. And so being able to do that, bringing in new faces to sort of man, and then he started implementing the name branding has been one of the most important things, because again, he sort of wants you to know that he sort of picked up the company and he's sort of trying to do something different. And so him changing the name alone gives you a different perspective about it. And then he sort of jumps into introduction of the blue ticks as on payment, which excitingly I'd seen that it was sort of working, because he sort of has this concept of taking out bots and making sure that there are real human beings behind most of the accounts. And again, also trying to generate some level of revenue for the company so that he could sort of build most of the tools he wants to build in. If you're looking at Elon as a person and how he connects to platforms, you could realize it from his platforms in terms of the space, in terms of how he's running Tesla. You can realize that he's a very futuristic person. And so far as social media comes into play, as every day, I mean, general users spend most of their time on social media, he wants to get to that aspect as well. And then now start transforming that aspect in terms of making sure that he's enabling payment all across the world. He's sort of making internet accessibility open, making sure that he's sort of carrying out real-time information and making sure that information across on his platform becomes genuine and stands in the test of time in terms of information flow. And then again, he's also looking at how he could leverage on that where there's passion for cryptocurrency and the blockchain. And so he sees Twitter and, for that matter, X as a better platform which he could leverage on. And so him coming in, buying this company, deploying it, and putting some level of new faces to it, I think that he's sort of done well. Again, because competition looks as that people just want the old Twitter. I mean, Thread comes into play. But again, you should realize this, that social media influences us so much. 4 years ago, 3 years ago, you would have realized that, status was not a big deal. Now status is like everything. Mm-hmm. And so at the introduction of status, it just looked weird. It just looked like it was not a really better function, but it had come into play. And so same with Elon, he's sort of looking at the introduction of quite a lot of things, which is rather going to speed him up in 2024, as I can predict. It's sort of going to be one of the most powerful platforms. The numbers are going to rise on that, and stocks are going to rise on that as well.
Okay, even when some companies are boycotting when it comes to advertisement, I also wanted to point out that those workers or the staff that were in the African office or the Africa office here in Ghana have still not been compensated. I don't think so. If there's any development on that, you could share with us, but I doubt that they have been compensated at all. Well, let's talk about, I mean, we can't talk about 2023 and not talk about artificial intelligence. This is the year we saw OpenAI peak, and then the AI wars continue. And I'm pretty sure we're going to hear a lot more about artificial intelligence in 2024.
Artificial intelligence is a new platform. I mean, that is a new IT. And so if you're looking at any part, I mean, regardless of what kind of artificial intelligence is coming in, you're looking at it as a bigger space, 2024 and beyond. It's sort of coming very strongly. You're seeing OpenAI putting 3.5 GPT, and then you're looking at how they also now looking at 4 and developing more tools around it. I mean, it will surprise you how many tools I sort of always see around now, all leveraging on AI. I've seen my very favorite platforms, which I basically would get, tech tools, I could get graphical tools, all now emerging into AI. It's been powerful in terms of how it was used, how it's being used now, and how people are sort of looking at pushing it into place. I realized that there was an award system in Nigeria called No Code Summit. And if you're looking at people now awarding themselves in the area of no code area, that means that people are now generating sort of codes. They're just doing generative AI more to be able to build a lot of things without having to even understand the code that runs behind it. And that's scary for quite a lot of jobs, even in the tech sector, because again, usually people talk about loss of jobs and think that within the IT system, a lot of people rather are safer. But then again, you realize that the graphic designer is at risk. You're having the web developers at risk, the mobile application developers at risk. And so sort of they also need to now do a lot more work into getting to understand AI, getting to understand machine learning, augmented reality. I mean, all of that coming into place for them to sort of upgrade and be there and be able to pick up and still exist in the system. And so AI now is the platform. AI now is the IT. We're going to see a lot more of that. But I think that a lot of people in Ghana should start looking to taking advantage of it. Our institutions could actually start looking into a curriculum where they could provide a lot more. A lot of my mates I studied with in tech relatively had to travel out of the country to do machine learning and artificial intelligence, again, because we don't have those course outlines in our universities. And so I think that the universities should definitely leverage on the FAS and the BAS about it, and should also be able to have people trained in that sector. I think that it will do us a lot of good. Can you imagine if we're introducing AI on digital systems, which is being pushed by the government, the policies on that? I mean, I'm sure that just at a click, you could definitely just generate a lot of information about someone, especially to aid in this, the call for having credit score, the call for joining or integrating most of the systems which we have, Ghana Card, and all of those systems basically coming into play. And so by just an AI tool coming into play, you could definitely merge all our systems. Your tax net basically just gets to be widened and all of that. And so I foresee that it would actually do a lot more good. But we as developers within the sector in Ghana and Africa should also take advantage of it and start pushing in some implementation. I think that there should be that policy that should also give it some leverage around it, and not that immediately pushing up concepts you're being taxed all around, but you could do a lot more without taxes.
All right, Henry, thank you so much. I mean, we couldn't touch on your point number 4, but I'm just going to read it anyway. You talk about the EU Parliament giving final approval for the ban on petrol and diesel cars in 2023, and then Ghana's electronic the tax waiver on electronic vehicles. And point number 5 for you was a peak of influencers in Ghana. Hopefully we can talk about that some other time. Thank you so much for bringing us your top 5 tech stories of 2023. Appreciate it. And last, the marketplace, everyone. Thanks for watching. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Kwawu. Thanks for watching. There you go. GRA denies questionable contract with SML, insists deal saved Ghana 3 billion cedis. You can read more about that. That's a trending story right now on myjoyonline.com/business. We will be back same time tomorrow. Please stay tuned.